viewers. Hello everyone, this is Programming Terrain. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be answering one of the Stack Overflow questions that is related to Django and Django-rest framework, how it internally functions works. So we are going to be looking at this problem. This is a question that someone has asked before, and the problem is that they want a sample response that they are trying to render in a view to be paginated. So for pagination of their response, they have asked whether it is possible to do that in API views and using permission class decorators, using API view decorators from Django-rest framework, and they have this snippet that they want the response to be paginated at the end. So there are a few answers that you would be able to find in this thread, and there is one person that has answered it by using page number pagination, and they have initialized the paginator response. Then they have basically internally used the page number pagination based APIs, internal functions available to paginate a response in a standard way. So let's look at what this solution is going to change in the snippet that this person has asked in the problem, right? So I have prepared this example, and here I am trying to mock the same snippet and trying to simulate the problem, trying to understand how we can look into paginating the response like the person has asked. So if we consider this view, and we are trying to render a response in this view in a standard way, what we are going to get in this view is that there is a person objects list that I've initialized to simulate the response from the problem, and I have created a few user objects, just temporary user objects. I have appended them in this list, and then I am serialized this list of objects, user objects, in a user serializer, and then I'm just rendering the response. Let's see and look what the structure of the response overall looks like. So let's run this and see. Okay, so this is the API for it, and this would be the structure of the response that this would give us. Now you can see that there are a lot of items, and as and when the number of objects in that list keep on increasing, there is further grows a requirement to paginate these responses, right? So that it is easier to navigate the responses in multiple pages. If there are a lot of responses, consider having 500 responses, 1000 set of objects, 10,000 objects in a single page. So then the list would grow really long. So to reduce that, to solve this problem, since there are 14 items in the list right now, let's see how we can go about paginating this response. So I will just uncomment out this. Okay, so this is what I would be trying. Basically what I'm doing is I'm using page number pagination as the first answer in the Stack Overflow question demonstrates, and I'm going to assign the number of page size of that page number pagination as 10. Now the person objects list that I'm going to append in the same set of objects that I prepared before, and at the end of it all I'm going to send the results in a paginated query set using the paginator class that I initialized before in page number pagination. I will paginate the query set, that is the first step. Then I'll serialize the data, that is the result page, that is paginated query set data that I'm trying to serialize. Then I'll return the paginated response at the end. So this is already a serialized response, so further serialization on it is not required. So let's see, save it and see how this changes the overall structure of the response data that we got. Okay, let's just refresh this. Okay, so as you can see, the previous response has gotten transformed. Its structure has become more readable and paginated by default. So this is using Django REST framework's page number pagination default class. So the structure of that object, basically it looks like this. It has these key attributes. It has a count that demonstrates number of items that are there in the response, total number of items. Then there is the next page that you can query and you can request for more responses as and when you want. Then there is a previous page link that you will get. This is all by default that Django REST framework is taking care of. So the person building the API, they don't need to. They can just by default use the page number pagination that Django REST framework offers. Now the other last key is the results, that has all the responses paginated in a list, right? Okay, so as you can see that this is the significance of what this person has asked, to paginate a response in a API view decorator and permission classes that are used in Django REST framework. This is what you need to consider and do. So this would be my answer to do the same and to demonstrate that. Okay, so that is how we are going to answer this problem, and I think people have also followed the same. You guys can check it out and try to see what all different answers people have posted. Okay, so yeah, this is it for this video. Alright guys, so see you in the next one. Okay, yeah, thanks.